Hi folks, it's me, Christiana Gaudette. I am getting ready for my first Northeastern tour of 2019, and there have been a lot of requests for me to do these short YouTube videos that I used to do a lot and haven't had a lot of time to do. So while I'm getting ready to go away, I'm going to try to get some videos out. One of the things that was requested is that I cover the four suits of the minor arcana. I've already done the wands and the cups, so here comes pentacles. Now we know that pentacles are connected to the element of earth, and we know that earth is about our resources. It's our root chakra. It's our connection to the planet. It's our health. It's our wealth. It's our money. It may be the things we do to create our money. It's the way that we take care of ourselves. It's all of our resources. So when we look at the cards of the Suit of Pentacles, although in some tarot decks, especially older tarot decks, it can be called the Suit of Coins, I think it's very important that we don't just look at these cards and say, okay, it's money. It's all about money. It can be about money, but it can be about any of your resources, about how you take care of yourself, about your well-being as well. So let's go through real quickly and see what we see. Ace of Pentacles. We know that aces can be new beginnings, but also the essence or source of the element. The Ace of Pentacles can be your root chakra. It can also be new money or a new job, a new way of getting money. It can be a new way of taking care of yourself. It can also remind you to get back to basics in terms of your relationship with your resources, with your sense of security, and with the planet Earth itself. Two of Pentacles is the juggler. This is when, well, my mother used to say sometimes you have too much month left over at the end of the money. This is when that happens. It's when you have to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. It's when you don't have all the resources you need, but you find a way to make do anyway. Maybe you're working two jobs. Maybe you're working and going to school, or you have kids and you're working. The resource you may be missing is time. It may be money. It may be energy. But look, we're juggling within the infinity symbol. So you know what? You can juggle for as long as you need to. It may not be comfortable. You may ultimately have to make a choice. I've seen this card come up about choosing between two jobs or two financial paths. So this can say you have to juggle for a while. It may also say you have to choose. It's not easy, but it's doable. Now, the Three of Pentacles. I see this card as the master craftsman, and I do recognize that there is sort of an argument in the community between the 3 and the 8. One of these is the apprentice, one of these is the master. Some people will see the 3 as the apprentice and the 8 as the master. I see it the other way around. I feel that what we're seeing in the 3 of Pentacles is a person being properly compensated for their mastery. In Spiral Tarot, what we see in this image is a prima donna ballerina taking a bow and people are throwing roses at her. Keywords for this card include recognition, being recognized for the work that you do. So I see this as one of the more creative of the Pentacles cards. It can talk about a great job that has some creativity. It can talk about a job where you are recognized and rewarded for your good work. Now, the Four of Pentacles. Typically, we see this as the card of the miser, of selfishness. Certainly, if you're going on a date for the first time and you ask, how's this date going to be? Do not expect to go to a nice place. But this card can be so much more than that. It can talk about selfishness. It can talk about hoarding or a lack mentality. But it can also talk about good boundaries and good self-care. So if this card comes up as something that you need better boundaries, you need to take better care of yourself. If it comes up to describe a person's personality, maybe they are a little selfish or self-centered. Maybe they're a lot selfish or self-centered. Maybe they're a hoarder or a miser. Five of Pentacles. So my key word for this card is opportunity. What I see here is these poor people. They're injured, they're cold, they're out in the snow, and they're walking right by the building that they could go into and receive perhaps food, warmth, medical attention, the things that they need, but they're missing it. When this card comes up for me, very often I see either a sense that you've missed an opportunity or you've missed the boat. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but that's your sense. Or I look at this and I say, you know what? The opportunity is there. You just have to grab it. So Six of Pentacles is very much like the Four, only sort of an opposite. So with the Four, we see this miserly thing. With the Six, we see generosity. Six of Pentacles can be about generosity, about success that is shared appropriately. It can be about a job that involves helping people or giving to people. Or, again, boundaries comes up with both of these cards. With the Six of Pentacles, we see that scale there. There's a sense, how much should I really give? How much should I really do for this person? What are my boundaries? What should my boundaries be? So the Seven is a really interesting card. Aleister Crowley calls this the card of failure. But I think we weight readers do not see failure here. What we see is the tired gardener. You got to tend your garden. You got to work hard. This may be a boring job, a job you don't like. It may be hard work in front of you, and you may not yet be seeing the rewards. But to me, this card can say, tend your garden. The rewards will be there. Now, we already mentioned the Eight of Pentacles. As I said, I see this as the apprentice. This is a card that can be related to learning a trade, going to trade school, an actual apprenticeship or internship. Some people see this as sort of the time to make the donuts card, a job of just got to do the same thing over and over and over again, factory work, mill work, that kind of thing. But I see learning through hard work in this card as well. I think it has an educational component. The Nine of Pentacles is such an interesting card. It has come to mean being comfortably alone, being single, but not being upset by being single, or taking time to yourself and being comfortable with that. If we look at the history of this card, though, she is actually a wealthy woman under her father's protection. The reason she is able to be alone and unmolested in her garden is that she's got her father's wealth and prestige and protection behind her. So there is a family component in this card, and traditionally, this card can indicate an inheritance. So when we talk about how this card has come to be reflected now, it can often talk about confidence, about security, being financially secure, but also being comfortable in your own skin. Regardless of your relationship status, being a person who doesn't need another person in order to be okay. And finally, the 10. An interesting thing with the weight 10 is if you look at the way that the pentacles are arranged, they're actually arranged in the Kabbalistic tree of life. It is the one time that that image shows up in the weight cards, even though the Golden Dawn found a lot of connection between Kabbalah, the tree of life, and tarot. So what do we see in this card? In this card, we see a grandfather surrounded by his kids, his grandkids, his dogs. We see his castle, his coat of arms, his vineyard. This is a card of family, of wealth, but also of generations, of legacy. What have you inherited from your family? What are you giving to your kids? And we're not just talking about the sofa, the jewelry, or the money. We're talking about behavior. We're talking about generational trauma or generational traditions. This also is known as the castle card, and so it can specifically speak of real estate. buying or selling of property, someone moving in, moving out, changing where you live, or even going into real estate or being in real estate as a business. So there's your 10 ace through 10 pentacles. We also have the court cards, and we recognize the poor king is reversed. Okay. We recognize that, court cards themselves can mean so many different things. They can be people. Traditionally, they would be people born under an earth sign, or people who are very practical, very grounded, very good at creating and honoring their resources. We can also see these cards as directives or as predictors. If we look at it that way, the Page of Pentacles may be about going to school for business. It also may be about communicating regarding money, needs, or resources. The Knight may be travel for business or pursuing a better job. The Queen can be about nurturing your resources, and the King can be about taking a leadership position in your job or in your community. Of course, as I said, these can also represent yourself or the people around you. I hope you find this helpful. If you have questions that you want me to address, you can go ahead and message me here. You can also email me at tarot@christianagodet.com. Thanks so much. I hope to see you soon.